Hi guys, this is Isaac from Mix Advice, and in this series I'm going to be showing you everything you need to know to get your kick drums sounding as good as they possibly can do with your home recordings. If you want them to sound like this, or like this, then keep on watching and let's dive straight in. Alright, hi guys, this is Isaac here from Mix Advice. Got another tutorial for you on kick drum processing. This time we're going to be looking at the close mic, how to EQ it, and look at a little gate trick that I like to use to give it even more presence without having to worry too much about cymbal bleed. So with that, let's get into it. We've got like quite a heavy progressive rock track here, and so the kick drum's really important. In fact, the drums in general are really important. So I'm just going to show you what I did with the EQ on the kick. So let's take a listen to that on solo quickly. So straight away I'm hearing kind of a narrow boxy frequency. And in cases like this, usually what I'll do is I'll sort of get a sense of where it might be around. So I'm feeling like lower mid somewhere. And I'll just do a big boost and then just sweep through the frequencies until I identify exactly where the problem is. So let's try that. And there it is. So let's get rid of that. And immediately you can hear there's a lot more depth to the kick. You can hear the clarity of the fundamental a lot better. Okay, but listening to it in the mix, it still sounds just a little bit narrow and a bit shallow. Let's do that now. And so what I wanted to do was really bring out the presence and clarity of the kick. So I did a nice big broad boost around 10k, so you're getting this little lift right from about 1k peaking at 10k, so nice big broad lift. And just listen to the difference on solo for a sec. So that's in, out, kind of dies, back in, much more up front. Okay, and to kind of balance that out so it's not too just clicky, I just introduced a bit of a boost around 70 Hertz. So let's see what we've got now. So this is in, out, completely dies, really narrow, honky, in, managed to transform the sound of that kick. And now in the mix it sounds much stronger, much more up front, and we don't need as much volume either because of this boost. So if you're worrying about cymbal bleed, often boosting you might feel like, oh, that's counterintuitive because I don't want to introduce more cymbal bleed. But it also means it doesn't have to be as loud in the mix to be heard, so it kind of balances itself out. So yeah, let's take a listen to that in the mix and see how it sounds. There's another little trick that you can use if you want even more presence. This is especially useful in metal. So if we look at the original channel that I've just been working on, the gate, we've got a hold of 100 milliseconds and a release of 300 milliseconds. This is to allow enough of the kick to come through so that it doesn't sound too unnatural, kind of like doo, 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 doo. That sounds unnatural. You need the whole kick to be coming through so you're hearing the full doo, 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 doo. And so that's quite important to get your gate right on that main channel. However, with this little gate trick to add extra presence, we do almost the opposite. So I've got a hold of 0 and I've got a release of 2 milliseconds. And then with the EQ on that channel, I've used a high pass filter to cut out everything up to about 2k, and then boosted some frequencies from about 6k upwards. And on its own, with that gate so tight, it sounds like this. It sounds really unusual. but obviously we're not hearing an excessive amount of cymbal bleed coming through that, so we can blend it in with the original channel. And just to make that point, let's listen to it in the mix, and I'll introduce it slowly and you'll hear it just become more and more present as the fader goes up. So now we've got a super clicky, super upfront kick drum sound. For this particular band, in this style of music, I feel like that's too much, so I'm going to bring it back down. But for things like metal, this can be an ideal little trick for you to just get that really upfront, super clicky sound. So let's just listen to it in the mix, try and balance it out, and see what we get. Thing there a bit. Cool, that's sounding pretty good to me now. Got a nice solid upfront kick sound that suits this style of music. So I hope you guys have found this useful, and I'll hopefully see you in the next tutorial. This has been Isaac from Mix Advice. Thanks a lot, and hopefully see you soon. Thank you.